Hey everybody, welcome back to One Seed, One World. So I'm out here getting ready to walk out to the garden because we are getting ready to go camping this weekend. Just a quick overnight trip to a friend's farm. And I've got my truck tent that I'm trying out for the first time this year. If you want to see how it goes in the back of my pickup truck there. Unfortunately, the mattress that I got for it is a little too small, so we have another blow-up mattress that we're going to try to put in there and see if it works better. This one's a little too short for my long legs, so we'll see what happens, but enough room for good sleeping, you can see there. But for this camp out with a group of friends, Mitsy is making some vegetable chicken soup and some fresh baked bread to take up with us to share with people up there. And so we're going to see how that goes. I'm coming out to the garden to see if I can get any decent stuff to put in the vegetable soup that's straight from the garden. You know, it's getting late in the season, and so there's not as much stuff available now, but we have a few things out here, so let's see what we got. So I have one remaining squash plant left. I lost my earlier zucchini ones to squash borer bugs. I was able to save one of them for quite some time with fighting against the squash borers, and so the first three died off, and then the fourth one I was able to keep for quite a while, but it finally is done now. And so I've done a late batch of some yellow squash, and they are just coming in. I didn't plant these until I don't know, late July or early August. But we got one here that might be able to go in the soup. We're not sure if we're going to add squash to the soup or not, but I figured I'd bring it in anyway, and you know, if we don't use it for that, we'll use it for something else. This is the batch of green beans that I had planted in mid-July, third week of July. And unfortunately, I haven't kept up with some of the picking. So since we haven't picked them in almost 2 weeks, a lot of them are kind of really big and tough, probably not good to use. So I want to clean out the big ones and then get the smaller ones that we can use in the soup, just to make it a little bit of extra vegetables from the garden. This camp out that we're going to, one of my best friends from high school, we had known each other since we were probably about 15 years old, and in the early 2000s he had moved to the family farm, took over the family farmhouse, and it's about an hour from our house, and each year he started putting on a mini music festival at his house, and it was all just friends that played music. I would take my keyboard and my guitars up, and he had a band and several other local bands and friends of his that played music, and some of our friends from high school and college were all part of it. And at its height was probably around 2008 through 2000, I don't know, maybe 10 or 12. And at some of those get-togethers, there'd be 100, 125 people there, where we'd set up in this big barn, everybody would listen to music, we'd play pretty much all night. Unfortunately, he passed away in 2019. So, you know, for a moment there, that kind of ended it. But the family still owns the farm, and one of the guys in the band had talked to them and got the approval for us to kind of do a smaller version of this music festival up there. And so I haven't been in a couple years, but basically what the deal is that it's a kind of like a yearly music memorial service for my friend Mark that passed away, and so it's the guys in his band that do a set of music, and then a lot of us other ones that play, we join in and do our own little sets and that sort of thing. And so we camp out there on the farm overnight, and we get and for a lot of us it's the only time we get to see each other once a year. So it's always been kind of a special thing for me that's been going on since 2002. I went for, I think, 15 years in a row before I missed my first one. And then I went to a couple more before Mark passed away. And I've been to one of the memorial ones since then. But that one was at a different location. So this will be the first time I've been up to his farm since before he passed away. So we're getting things ready to go and getting out here in the garden, and man, so many of these green beans are just going to be too big to use. So, but you know, with picking green beans, really with a lot of different types of beans, the more you pick them, the more they'll produce. So even though it's getting late in the season, I think that by getting these all cleared out, we'll get some more blossoms on here and hopefully get another couple batches that we can put in the freezer or just eat fresh, and it'll still be good. You know, sometimes you let things go and then you wish you didn't because it causes you more work. Like all these big green beans in here that I'm just picking for the compost, really. So there's that. But you know, it's still not a failure. It's a learning experience about what not to do next time. You know, things with life, every single situation can be a learning experience if you're willing to be a student, and you don't have to look at things in a manner of failure or a matter of negativity, because really any situation, whether it's, you know, your beans getting too far ahead of you, or your cucumbers dying, or even things that are more, I guess, more extreme, like a friend dying or a loved one dying, or on the, you know, if it's a positive, what you could say a positive thing, like getting a job promotion or getting a new job, or, you know, making a bunch of money, whatever it is. None of these situations have an emotion attached to them. They're just things that happen, and we each attach an emotion to them, and we have the choice every single time with every single thing that happens on what type of emotion that we are going to attach to that situation. And we can choose to make it a positive, or look at the positive side of it, even when it's a something like death. You know, we can still look at the positive and look at the great memories and times that you had, something that you learned from it, versus looking at everything in a negative light, I guess is all I'm trying to say. And so, you know, that's hard to do. I often get negative about things, but I also try to remember that there's positive things in every situation, and it's just how you want to choose to view it and go forward with it. I think I'm going to have a lot more beans I can't use here than I can use. So you might have to go into the freezer and get some frozen vegetables. But I still need to get these all cleared out just to give the plants a little of a break, to prevent any, you know, if they're late, like some of these are getting some bug damage and they're getting some brown spots on them. And so I want to get these out of here and give the plants a chance to put off some more blossoms and hopefully give us some more green beans before the frost starts moving in. Look at some of these coxcomb that I grew this year. I've grown coxcomb, I guess, for the last 3 years or so, but these ones that I put here down by the greenhouse have been the best ones that I have ever had. They're huge, and I'm really happy with the way that they came out. Talking about the positive things, you know, I had some things fail this year, or some things that I didn't keep up with that failed probably because I didn't do it right. But these are just big, beautiful plants and beautiful flowers, and they have been going strong since probably midsummer, probably since July, and they just keep getting bigger blossoms on them. So I'm hoping to maybe get some seeds out of these before you know, once they start finishing up and drying out, maybe I'll get some seeds out of them to to replant these and repropagate these for next year, since these did so well. And when you're saving seeds, no matter whether it's from flowers or from tomatoes or whatever it is that you're saving your seeds from, try to do it off of fruits or blossoms or plants that are the best ones, because those are going to give you, they're going to have some of the best genetics in there to help you do it again next year. So I'm coming in pretty empty-handed. I decided that with the green beans, they are probably not going to be worth the trouble for the soup. I'm still have to finish clearing out what I was doing, but I'm still gonna, we're not gonna use them in the soup. We'll have to use some of the frozen ones that we already had. Maybe we'll use a squash, I don't know, we'll see. But I still got a lot of things to kind of get ready for the little camping trip that we're leaving on for tomorrow. And so I'm gonna get going, but just wanted to kind of, I don't know, chat with you guys a little bit and show you a little bit of the garden. I got a couple more videos coming up here in the next couple weeks, so stay tuned for those. But in the meantime, whatever's going on in your neck of the woods, I hope it's working out fantastic for you and that you're having a great garden season. But thanks for hanging out again with me again today, and we'll see you again soon. Namaste.